We make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. You know, the way I see it, curb appeal is more than a way to impress prospective buyers for my home. It's something that makes me feel really good about my place every time I pull in the driveway. Sometimes the smallest thing can make a big difference. That's why today I'm putting in a really nice lamppost and carriage lantern. Then, although it makes me sad to do it, I have to cut down a sickly ash tree in my front yard. Even though the tree has to go, it won't be forgotten though. The logs will become lumber for a special project. Finally, I pay a visit to some new friends whose dog wants a door of her own. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of curb appeal. I like my house to look nice from the street, and I want it to be welcoming when friends come over. So, I've decided to put a lamppost here in the front yard. Now, I've looked all over, and I think the best spot for it is actually right here where I've got this flower bed. Now, here in the Northeast, as you may have heard, it gets pretty cold, and the ground can freeze down 2 feet or more, and it creates what's called a frost heave effect. If the ground freezes beneath the end of the post, well, I can actually push it up out of the ground. So I want to avoid that, and I'll do it by making the hole at least 2.5 feet deep. I could use a post hole digger, but I'm going to do it the easy way. The easy way is with a post hole auger, a giant earth drill, if you will, that can be rented at almost any home improvement or rental center. Now the trick here is to hang on tight. There are plenty of rocks in this soil, and I'm bound to hit a few. Well, I've got my 32 inches. The frost shouldn't get under this post. And I've also had an electrician run a line in here. This is special outdoor or underground rated cable. The wires themselves are encased in PVC. This has to be buried at least 12 inches underground. Around here they want 18. So I think we're ready to go. In the bottom of my post hole, I'm putting a couple of inches of crushed rock to drain away water that might collect there. The post I've chosen is pre-stained and made of solid cedar. Cedar is lightweight yet strong, a rare combination, and highly resistant to rot, decay, and insects because of the natural oils produced by the tree. Well, here's my post and here's my wire. Now the post has been bored. The wire is actually going to enter it below grade, below ground, and then run up the center, come out the top. And the manufacturer's been kind enough to put this piece of string in here. So all I have to do is loop the wire through the string and pull it from this point right up through the end. I secure the loop by wrapping it with electrical tape. Then I push the wire in the hole, go to the opposite end, and pull it through using the string. Well, my wire's in the post. It's coming out the top. I'm ready to set this in the hole. This strap-on level will leave my hands free to work. To hold the post in position, I drive in a couple of stakes, then clamp a board between the stake and post. I loosen the clamps, adjust, and once the post is perfectly vertical, I retighten the clamps, and the post stays just where I want it. This is a solid cedar post, highly rot resistant, but not rot proof. To extend its life, the maker suggests that I not set it in concrete. Why? Because the concrete forms a jacket or collar around the post. If the post shrinks, water can get in between, get trapped there, and cause the post to rot prematurely. So this one is going in plain old dirt. After adding a few inches of soil, I stop and compact the dirt using a 2x4. With the hole backfilled and compacted, I can remove the clamps and braces. This cedar sleeve is what's going to turn an otherwise ordinary post into something special. It slips over the top and is held in place with finish nails. To keep water out, I apply caulk to the joint and smooth out the bead using my finger. The post cap also adds a classic touch and incorporates a mounting base for the light fixture. I'm working alone today, so I've made this clamp-on shelf. The plan is to lay the light fixture on it while I connect the wires. The electrical connections are pretty basic. Split the PVC covering, strip off the wire insulation, secure the wires together using wire nuts, and wrap the whole thing tightly with electrical tape for some added weatherproofing and to help things slip more easily into the hole in the center of the post. Now I can slip the lantern over the mounting base, install a screw, check for level, then put in the remaining fasteners. Well, I'm just about there. All that's left is to set on the lantern top and trim ring, then screw on the finial. You know, there's something very welcoming about a lamppost. I guess it says, "Yes, we're home, come on in." For our friends and family, we can now say, "We'll leave the light on for you." This 35-year-old ash tree in my front yard is kind of like an old friend. But sad to say, it's been quite sick for a while, and my tree expert says it's really too far gone to save. So, reluctantly, I've decided to have it taken down. And Rich Ferreira is the guy to do it. Now, Rich loves trees, and I think he's as comfortable hanging off a rope 50 feet in the air as he is standing on solid ground. His first task is to cut away several large branches on the side of the tree that will strike the ground first. He does this to minimize the damage when the falling tree hits my lawn. To further protect my grass, he lays several cut-off limbs side by side. Next, Rich makes a wedge-shaped cut in the direction he wants the tree to fall. Then saws a second cut on the opposite side. These cuts, plus a guideline, allow him to drop the tree exactly where he wants it. As you can see, the limbs he put down earlier have kept the tree from burying itself in my turf. While Rich and his helpers start trimming off and grinding the smaller limbs and branches, I mark cut lines on the trunk. I may have lost my tree, but I've come up with a way to remember it. Well, my tree's gone, and I don't feel too good about that. But I was able to salvage the trunks, and you know what? I'm going to have this sawn into lumber using this portable sawmill. Dave Scott has been a sawyer for more than 20 years. Today, he and his partner Kyle Cheeley are about to turn tree trunks into timber right here on my front lawn. This tool is essentially a really big bandsaw that travels back and forth on a rail. We start by making two cuts on the top of the log. In a way, it's like opening an oyster in search of a pearl. But it's a surprise. Every board log is a surprise.
Every log, you just never know how it's going to open up. This is very pretty. If you look over around this one knot.
This is very nice indeed.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And it's sound, too.
Dave rotates the log a quarter turn, and we cut the second side. This time, I'm at the controls. After each pass, I lower the saw blade anywhere from 1 1/4 inches to 1.5 inches, depending on how thick I want the boards. After one more turn, we're about to reduce our once circular log to a rectangular beam. Finally, we clamp several of the boards into the mill bed vertically, so we can cut away the bark and end up with a straight edge. Now, out of that single log, I got all of this lumber and only that small amount of scrap. That's why they call that sawmill the wood miser. Well, my tree has gone from logs to lumber, but before I can build anything out of this, I've got to dry it. Now the ends of a plank dry out more quickly than the center, so I'm applying some latex paint to slow down the drying on the ends and prevent cracking, which could cause me to lose some really useful lumber. Now these small pieces of wood right here are called stickers. I've put them between each of the planks. Now that's going to create a space in there that will allow air to circulate and cause the boards to dry evenly. Now I've stacked the stickers right on top of each other to prevent any of the boards from bowing, and I started out by putting the bottom boards on a level surface made up of these 4x4s down here. For right now, the whole idea is to dry this lumber without cracking, warping, or splitting. Now that's going to take a few months. In the meantime, I can figure out what I want to make out of it. How about a doghouse? I've been reflecting on a problem. What I've got here is a heavy mirror and an old plaster wall, 75 years old. Now, what's the most secure way to hang this? In this case, the original hanging hardware has to go, so I remove it. Then I measure an equal distance down both sides, drill pilot holes, and attach hanger straps using short screws. Braided picture wire is looped through the straps and twisted back upon itself. The next step is to draw a level line on the wall where the top of the frame will be. I stretch the hanging wire taut and measure the distance between the wire and the top of the frame. That's the distance below the level line I just drew that I'm going to place the wall hangers. Toggle bolts are usually the best way to hang heavy objects on plaster walls. The spring-loaded wings of the toggle bolt fold together. Once inside, the wings spring open. I'll drill a hole large enough to allow the folded wings to pass through. A piece of masking tape helps keep the plaster from cracking or chipping. Finally, I pull gently on the bolt as I tighten it, which will keep the toggle from spinning inside the wall. With both toggle bolts tightened firmly, it's time to hang the mirror. You just hoist this up here, put it on the hooks, make sure we catch both of them. Slide it back and forth a little bit, make sure it's level. Now the beauty of a two-hook system is that once you get it level, it stays level. Well, it's time for me to make another house call. Kelly and Glenn Tanabe of Palo Alto, California want to give their dog Sushi a door of her own. So I'm going to see if I can lend a hand.
Good morning,
And
Ron.
this would be
Sushi.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you? How you doing, huh? Yeah, nice. How you doing, sweetie? Yes. Oh. So this is the doorway here, huh?
Yes, this is where we want the doggy door.
Now this doorway goes where? To your house or your
To our garage.
Your garage. Okay. So Sushi, you'd be able to go from the patio out here, the courtyard, into the garage on your own, huh? Is Sushi pretty much full size now? Would you say?
Pretty much. You'll probably get maybe 5 pounds heavier.
Okay. And any other dogs coming along, brothers and sisters?
No, I don't think so. We're a one-dog family.
One dog family. Okay. So we'll base the size of the dog door then on her current height right now. Doggy doors should be positioned so that the bottom of the door is at roughly the same height from the floor as the dog's chest. So we'll need to make some measurements. But measuring a moving target is a bit of a challenge. Okay, I would say just about 10 inches. But the inside and outside floors are not the same height, so we'll need to modify our measurements. There's a 4-inch difference between those two. I'd suggest we split the difference and make the opening, the bottom of the opening, about 8 inches up from the bottom of the door right here. We measure and mark the 8 inches, then remove the door. Why don't you go ahead and take that pin out on the upper hinge there. That's the last one. Using a hammer and screwdriver, Kelly drives the pins out of the hinges and again pulls the door free. Let's carry that out to the patio. You know, we could have done this job with the door on its hinges. I just think it's easier to work on it lying down. It's certainly easier for me to show you guys what's going on here for the couple of minutes it took to take it off, or not even that, a minute. What I want to do right now is find the center of the door. So let me put a piece of tape down here again. The tape will make our marks easier to see and avoid our having to erase a lot of pencil lines from the door later on. Glenn measures the width of the door to find the exact center, and Kelly marks the spot on the tape. Square, if you would. We're going to draw a perpendicular line right up the center.
Now we'll extend our center line several inches upward.
So if you come up here, you're 8 inches.
Then measure up 8 inches from the bottom edge.
Okay, now we'll draw a line again parallel to the bottom right there.
This will be the bottom edge of the opening. This doggy door, like most, comes with a security panel. In this case, the panel is the exact size of the opening we need to cut and serves as a template.
So this is the center line of the panel. This is the center line of the door. If we align those, we know we've got the panel centered in the door, and we'll align the bottom edge with this line right here.
Kelly traces the outline of the panel, and then we bring out the power tools.
Now we're ready to cut out this rectangular opening. We're going to be doing that with a jigsaw, but I want to give you guys a hole to start this. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to drill holes on all 4 corners here, so we won't have to be turning the jigsaw around the corner, all right?
For these small corner holes, or pilot holes, we use a combination square to keep the bit as vertical as possible. Then we move up to a larger bit. Now large drill bits like this tend to splinter the wood as they exit. So we'll start the hole from this side, but stop about halfway through.
All right, guys? Okay. Now we're going to flip this over.
And finish the hole from the opposite side of the door. The pilot hole will show us exactly where to drill.
Those are our 4 corners of the opening. So, we're ready to cut. Have you used a jigsaw before?
Nope, never
Okay,
before.
Great, I love that. All right, one thing, there's a little notch right here. See that? Mm-hmm. Okay, well the idea is to keep that notch, at the bottom of that notch, on your line.
Okay.
You just come right down here.
And just
right?
follow that, okay.
Just follow it.
Gen and Kelly quickly get the hang of the jigsaw. And before you know it, we have a hole in the door. We no longer need the tape, so we pull it off, and it's quickly disposed of. Since this is an exterior door, we want to make sure there's a watertight seal around the edge of the doggy door frame. An exterior caulk like this one will prevent leaks, which could cause the door to rot from the inside out. Think you'll still be in this house in 25 years?
I don't know, it's kind of a small house.
You planning a family?
Eventually. Dogs kind of practice for it.
I know that.
We press the exterior portion of the frame into the caulk and use our fingers to smooth any caulk that has squeezed out.
Wipe off the excess here.
Gen and Kelly apply some tape to hold the frame in position. Well, Sushi and I supervise. Then we turn the door over.
Okay, now this is the interior panel. I want to make sure that the hinge side goes to the top of the door. And if you guys want to start putting these screws in.
Screws secure the inner panel to the outer one, in effect sandwiching the door in between.
You guys work together?
It's good.
Yes,
Yep.
we do. Can you
We work together.
No, I should. Yeah, you work really well together. It's kind of interesting.
Our installation complete, we rehang the door and discuss security issues.
One thing I want to show you here, this is called a security panel. It just slips right in from the top here. And the reason you want to use this is to keep uninvited guests from coming in.
Yes.
It could be other dogs, other pets in the neighborhood. I've even seen raccoons come in through doors like this.
Well, we finished, but our project still needs final approval from the top dog.
Come on! Come on, Sush! Come on! Yay! Well, I guess our efforts weren't for naught, guys.
Thanks, Ron.
She seems to like it.
Thanks so
I hope you
much.
enjoy.
One last thing before I go. Gen snaps a picture for Sushi's webpage, where I'm the guest of honor.
To view today's projects again and countless more, go to HouseCallsDIY.com. Step-by-step home improvement tips when you need them.
I'm Brian Kelsey. Welcome to House Calls.
Join us as we tackle some great home projects, as well as look back at favorites from Ron Hazelton on House Calls.